Welcome to the Everyday Saint podcast. Today we are here with May, which I am so excited for because I feel like you just live up to your name of this joyful, beautiful person. And I'm really excited to talk with you and hear about your faith journey. So welcome, May.
Thank you, Eve. Oh, I'm excited too. Glad to be here.
Yes. Why don't you just take us back to the beginning and tell us a little bit about your faith journey?
Yeah. Gosh, where to start? Well, I was born cradle Catholic. I grew up cradle Catholic, but I feel like I didn't really start my faith or living it out fully until post college. I had a pretty good conversion. I think it's like everyone life experience as well as the knowledge, receiving the good education. I went to this really good school called, shouting them out, Our Lady Seat of Wisdom. And they really helped me understand the foundation a little bit better instead of just being one of those coming from a big family, just follow what your mom and dad is asking you to do. And, go to mass on Sundays, seemed pretty I'm doing the right thing here. But I don't think I really started my faith fully until post undergrad. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're saying you were maybe doing the practice of the faith before then? Was there a point that you were away from the church? Or was it more of just oh, I didn't realize how seriously I should be taking this, and that's where the flip switched after graduating?
More like the second. Yeah. I've always I don't think I was ever breaking any I was never the rebellious one in the family. I was told I was the peacemaker, but I didn't think it was serious until after college. I realized whoa, this is real, this is true, and I need to take this more serious.
Yeah. Was it a singular moment that happened, or do you feel what kind of prompted that uptick in faith?
It was actually in spiritual direction.
Oh, it's kind of funny you were doing spiritual direction when you were it's not super into it.
It was in college, actually. I did spiritual direction. This priest named Father Hattie, God bless him. He's in heaven, I'm sure. I've never done spiritual direction. Praise God that I went to a Catholic school. But, I wasn't there for the right reasons. I wanted to get out of my hometown, real fast. And this college was in Ontario, Canada, so very far away from home. And I just wanted something new. I wanted to travel. I wanted to, experience new stuff. Canada is not that far from U.S., but I felt far.
Not a big deal, I'm sure. It's a whole other country.
It is. So anyway, the school was Catholic, so my parents supported it. And I started doing spiritual direction, really my last year in undergrad. And Father Hattie was just very good at questions he had me ask myself. And they were questions who am I? What is my purpose? What is happiness to you? Simple questions like that. And I realized I've never asked these questions. Mm-hmm. I'm who am I? And what am I supposed to do on earth? What is my purpose? And those spiritual directions started to a lot of life changes for me. So yeah. That was probably my big moment of okay, is there more to college or life than just getting good grades, and then getting a good job after school, or getting married to a good Catholic guy? What is this here? But yeah, there's a lot there I just kind of dropped. But
yeah, well, and I'm curious what that process then looked like for you, after the fact, when you were kind of asking yourself these questions. And he was asking you those questions. We have to, we can ask those questions and then we have to act and make a decision. So as you're making that decision, what was your thought process like? Do you remember any moments of moments where God really touched you in those times, or just that you could like feel like you could confidently make a decision to take your faith more seriously?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, I feel like I constantly started to feel like, oh, am I like called to the religious life? Is this what this is? I had no idea what like spiritual direction was until I went and Father explained. And I mean, part of it is like to just determine if the religious vocation is for you. And that's Father Hattie was explaining to me, like, we just want to know, like, what is your vocation? And this is how we ask you questions, we guide you, and it was beautiful.
Wait, so did you actually go and discern with religious orders?
I did.
You did? Okay.
I did discern, like, he brought up, like, the question of, like, has Mary ever, like, been very strong with you, like, your relationship with Mary? Has that, like, really been strong at all? Or, like, have you ever experienced Mary in your life, like, in a, unusual way? He brought up questions like that, and I was like kind of like moved at the same time, like unsure, like I have no idea. I know that she's like all around our house. I know that she's like a mother we pray to all the time. I feel like a lot of peace when we do as a family, like we pray the rosary, but like that was like more like a pattern of like practice that like I like admire my parents do, and because I respect them, like I will do it because I respect them. It wasn't more like I love this, I want to do this for me and my faith. Like it was all like really just out of practice in a way that was like out of respect for my parents. But anyway, I was open to the religious vocations. There was an oratory where I grew up, very close to my parents' house. They are the vocation, the Virgins of Matara, Servants of the Lord and the Virgins of Matara. They're like the blue nuns, white habit. Yeah, they're a joy. They're so charismatic, so joyful. Yeah, I think they started in Argentina. But anyway, I went to the oratories on Saturday mornings, and what it is like just like young girls who get to hang out with the sisters, and they bake, they cook, they play outside, and it's also a way to like interact and see like in the future as you get older if this is something for you. I like never felt a call.
No?
But I love those sisters. Like I had a really good relationship with them, and I always wanted them to be like my sisters, and they always respond saying like, we're your sisters in Christ. But I never like, yeah, I just thought it was way too easy. It's like, okay, if the vocation is
too easy to be a sister?
Yeah, like I
What?
I read something, I don't know where, but I read how like your vacation isn't supposed to be easy. And I just thought like, how easy would it be to just join, and like that would be my vocation. I don't know. That was like why I didn't feel called to it. But maybe I haven't discerned in a long time. That was like before for college.
Yeah, well, yeah, and maybe by easy, is it kind of almost like easy because the decision's been made? Or did just the lifestyle itself?
Just the lifestyle itself.
Really?
It just felt so like like way too peaceful. It's like, wait, this is like a camp. Like this is way, I don't know if it's because I was like young and I got like the easy part of like the religious life, like I got the glimpse of like the fun part of the religious sister's life. Maybe I didn't like, maybe there's like hardships in every vocation, but I just thought like this is too easy.
That's so funny.
Even the prayer. Yeah. I found like, oh wow, like I would spend hours in the chapel with them, just finding it so easy. I'm not making this up, Eve. Maybe it's because of like the aesthetic too of the place. It felt very peaceful. You should go. You should visit.
It sounds very peaceful. I love religious sisters too. They're just so joyful. so fun to be around. Like I feel like it's been a big trend on social media too. I've seen so many sisters like podcasts.
Oh.
I think anyone who's listening who has seen it like knows there's like these two sisters that just have been going viral on Instagram. Like they have like a podcast, and
I don't know. I am not.
I'll have to show you these sisters. I don't know what their names.
Yeah,
I think they're Dominican. I'm pretty sure they're Dominican sisters.
Oh.
And they have just been making little fun clips about being religious sisters. Like, I think they were, the clip I'm thinking of is there was one sister that was saying, like, oh, sister, like, what's some of your favorite things that we do together? And the sister, what did she say? Was it like Frisbee or something? And the other sister goes, oh, sister, you're so good at Frisbee. And she's like, thank you, sister. It's just so cute.
I'm horrible
so
at Frisbee. Oh.
Yeah.
It's a sport. It's real.
Is. Oh, we had a Frisbee, like, unit in gym class in high school.
Wait, what?
Right? It was a really unique, I feel like, unit. I liked it a lot because I felt like no one really had experience in it. I felt the same way, but when we had a lacrosse unit in gym class, it was like no one played lacrosse. Like no one knew how to play lacrosse. Like it's not a popular sport, so I feel like it really leveled the playing field. Because otherwise, I'd always be the kid who like didn't know how to play the sport. But when it was like these sports that people weren't super familiar with, I was like, oh, I have a shot at this. Like I'm not like like obviously bad at it. It's like everyone's kind of bad at it because we're still figuring it out.
So you were you not an athletic? Okay.
No. Were you?
I mean, lacrosse was a big thing in Maryland. Like, I think every high school plays. Oh, it's such a huge...
Oh, I don't even think my high school has a team. Actually, I know for a fact they don't have a team. I think it's like our whole city has to make up a team.
I didn't play. I just thought, like, sticks seems like a bad idea for me. Like, I don't think I could, with a ball, I don't think I could do this. I'm kind of the same way with you where, like, I chose, mainly because my dad is British, that I chose, like, sports that were not usual American sports. Because I did it when I was younger. Like, when I was a child, I was, like, getting riding lessons. And it wasn't in high school, but there was, like, activities that you could do. Like, tennis was a thing, you know, or, like, it was extra curriculums. Like, you could go and get credits for like riding a horse from a farm, but I just tried every way I could to avoid the main big sports because kind of similar to you, I was so scared. Like ever since I played soccer with my sibs, I injured my arm. Like my arm
from soccer.
Someone, I think it was my sibling, to be honest. I don't know who it is, but it was 7 of us in this team. So like a lot of us were in the main high school team. So I have to guess it's one of my sibs who hit the ball and hit my arm, and I broke my arm.
No, they must have kicked it really hard.
Yeah, they still
broken your arm.
My brother. That's who my theory is. I think it's my brother, but he still thinks it's probably my fall on the ground that like. But I think it was a ball. It was pretty hard. Yeah.
So funny.
Random, so unrelated.
Totally off topic. But no,
I'm gonna do this a lot.
I love this story. But kind of getting back to the original story, where we're kind of at is just like your post-grad life. So. Kind of catch us up to speed a little bit after you start taking your faith seriously. Does the faith life for you, does it stay? Do you kind of go back and forth with it, or does it just continue to grow? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think it was back and forth so after undergrad I moved out to DC and I nannied. I was a full-time live-in nanny for a family who wasn't Catholic. So, and it was new, like, to me. I didn't have a lot of friends in DC, so that was hard for my faith, to just, being new in a city and finding a new community. So it was kind of like a back and forth where I would struggle with, like, my old, like, habitual sins because, like, I didn't have a strong community or just, meeting people who aren't Catholic and aren't like practicing, but I would always like be involved in the parish that I would like stick to. So that was a huge lifesaver. Just like finding a parish in the city and then being involved in that parish. And then I got to meet more Catholics. And then I started to like have more faith, have more hope, and just like practice better and discipline myself. So that was a huge like lifesaver. Yeah.
I know a lot of people who listen to this podcast are kind of in like that college life or about to graduate, and you kind of mentioned building a community in a new spot. Do you have any like pieces of advice on what that looks like for someone who's building community in a new area? Interrupting myself for a minute because I know in the day-to-day life can be so distracting. However, I have an opportunity for you that I don't think you want to miss out on. The JP2 project has outdoor retreats for fellowship, disconnecting from your devices, and being able to truly encounter God and creation. They have upcoming outdoor retreats that you can register for, such as a Theology of the Body retreat in the Shenandoah Mountains in Virginia, an All-Men's Backpacking retreat in Montana, a Rocky Mountains retreat in Colorado, and even an experience in Zion National Park in Utah. So if you are looking for an opportunity to encounter God personally, explore the outdoors, engage in fellowship, be spiritually formed, and go totally unplugged, I'd encourage you to check out the link in the description below for the JP2 Project Outdoor Retreats.
Yeah, no, definitely get involved in your parish. Like, try to pick one parish. I know it's so easy to bounce around, and because, like, yeah, being new in a town, like, you want to either go with the group that you found and you're like, oh, I love this, but then you realize, like, it's so far away or it's out of your, like, you know, you're trying to discipline yourself to have a regular schedule. But my huge suggestion is to commit to like one parish and to be involved in the parish. Yeah, just like teach CCD or volunteer for soup nights or sing in the choir if you have the gifts of like singing, or start a group. And I think that says like a lot in your like faith and your maturity, and also just helps you grow in friendships, and you never expect it, and but like so good for you. Another suggestion is honestly like adoration. Attend adoration as much as possible.
Yeah, right, because that's like the community that you're striving for.
Yeah,
really is found there, and there's so much peace and like good reflection too. Like I feel like sometimes when you like get into like little reflective moods, it can be kind of scary almost, but when you go to adoration, it's like, oh, I get to look at like the glory of God, and that helps so much.
Indeed. It's simple as that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what the faith life is, right? Like God makes it simple for us. And it's just our job to then continue on in that journey and keep taking the next step, whatever that looks like. So whether that's just like going and attending, like saying yes to doing the CCD classes once, or just volunteering at your parish once, or going to the one young adult event that they have, just like the next step forward. And adoration can always be a big part of that, I think.
Do it. It's so beautiful.
That's so sweet. And something, too, I want to ask you about, too. I know that you have your own Catholic floral business. And I'm kind of switching subjects here, but I find this so interesting because you don't meet a lot of Catholic florists. So can you share how you started doing that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't think it's a fun subject or conversation, like a cocktail topic with a lot of like DC crowds, especially because they're always surprised. They're like, wait, what? You're a florist and you're living in DC? Because I lived in DC for a while, and I started it right after the Live-In Nanny. Honestly, I thought, okay, what if I start designing or working with flowers? How would I go about that? Like, where do I even start? Because I started from scratch. Like, I came from a very artistic family. First of all, some context, like, that helps, just having like the basic art foundation, principles, lighting, like vanishing points and all that. That really helps in like designing in general, or just art in general. But when I thought about floral work, I had no idea, like, there was this huge, like, industry of knowledge you could learn. So I first started volunteering. Just like anything back home that I wanted to learn, you just volunteer your time. Your time is so precious. And so volunteering was like the best gateway for me to learn about the skill, because there would be no like harm if someone is bad at it. You're volunteering your time, you're not getting paid. So at least you could do is just like, yeah, you could clean or do other things if they don't like your work. But I started volunteering at flower shops, and from there I just kept like putting in more hours, learning from the florists. If you do want to be a floral designer, pick a shop that runs with old ladies, honestly, because
They're so
they are
wise.
so wise and talented and so sweet, so sweet. So yeah, I started volunteering for this old lady, this flower shop, and from there I worked myself up, and then I got a job offer and just kept getting more job offers, and all the way to Georgetown, which is like this elite shop that my last flower shop I worked at before I started my business. And that's when I really like learned the business side and just really wanted to, I don't know, like make a business that could exclusively be Catholic, because there are some things where like in the industry is hard to avoid as a Catholic. Like, but then there are things where like, wait, no, you have a choice, you have a will, and you have a conscience. You don't have to support that if you don't want to. It can be very like difficult with the business side, but I've learned that like honestly, my goal is to get to heaven. So I honestly need to brainstorm here, like how can I still use my talent and still remain Catholic? Hence, I started Fleur de Mai, which is a Catholic business. And a lot of people supported me, a lot of family and friends. So that was a huge like support. But yeah, before I like tell away, I think I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's really neat. It's like from a place of God. Like you had no idea when you started doing that God was going to lead you to start your own business with it. And now here you are, and it's like,
No, oh my gosh.
How long has it been that you've had your own business?
I started 2023, May, actually.
May 2023. So it's
Yeah.
an anniversary, 3 years, right? Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah.
To have started that all on your own. I'm curious what God, has there been any like lessons that you can pinpoint that God has taught you throughout all of this?
Oh yeah, don't start a business.
Is that it? That's a piece of advice. Don't start a business.
Don't start a business if you don't have him alongside. For sure. Like there are definitely times where like, okay, God, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I don't know how to do this anymore. Like this is like a mess. But then once I like pray to him and then have courage and just like stay strong, like I realized like, wait, this isn't about me. This is literally for God. This business is not about me. Because there's temptations where like you want to like grow your business to a point where you're corporate, or you're just like more as not necessarily established. I feel very established is more so like you're well known, you know, like you got those numbers up. But then you're like just humbled after praying, or just like remembering like this isn't for my greater glory. This is for God's glory. So that's a huge like tip. If you ever start a business, do it with God, because it comes back 3 times more. I never think I don't think I could have ever done it without God. So
Yeah, absolutely. And as someone, you know, we're both like Catholic business owners, and I can definitely agree with that. Like there is the temptation to, you know, try and just like watch. For me, it's like Instagram, like a lot of content stuff that it's easy to see numbers that way. And there's a lot of beauty and sanctity in work. And work is not a bad thing. Like we have to, I think sometimes I have to remind myself of that. Like this work is not a bad thing, but it's like our intent behind it is so important. Like work is always meant to be oriented towards serving another person.
Exactly.
And when it becomes about serving yourself, that's totally different. And it's also like, caveat here is like, yes, you should have, like your business can make enough money to support you. Like that's a good thing to like strive for, that God has given you this talent and now you're using it to serve other people, and it's also supporting you or supporting a family and whatever that looks like. But you need him to like Isn't the quote something like, I think this is a super common quote, but like work as though everything depends on you, and
I'm
pray
trying
as
to
if
remember.
everything depends on God. There's the second part. It's like, I think it's like, pray as if everything depends on you, hope as in everything depends on God. There's like
Okay.
something like that, where maybe it's the opposite. I don't know, but the whole point is like that you have to still put in the reps, but recognize that like there's something beyond you that this is all meant to point to. Whether you're in like a Catholic floral business or a Catholic ministry,
Yeah.
all of it, all the way around, is always meant to be oriented towards God.
Indeed. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, and put your all in it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know sometimes you've talked about how different flowers have like communicated, or different like arrangements communicate different things to you about your faith, or about different things like that. Or even I think when we see the flowers on the altar, like there's different colors and different flowers for different seasons in the Catholic Church.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you like, do you have any knowledge on that, or any like insights into different flowers and how that communicates our faith?
Oh gosh, yeah, I can talk to you a lot about this.
Yay!
Well, there's like liturgical seasons, just as there are in the calendar, there's liturgical flowers where, just like in Mass, for example, the colors like red symbolizes the martyr, or Pentecost Sunday, or a red rose is symbolizing, it could symbolize that, or like just the sacredness of like a red rose. It's probably one of the most used for a lot of like just like anniversaries, important day. Like the red is like a royal color as well, just like purple. But yeah, and then Easter season, it's white, so like purity is used for like lilies. It's also used with Saint Joseph.
I need to take a moment to shout out Blessed is She. We all know how difficult when traveling, pilgrimaging, sometimes it's difficult to keep in that routine of prayer. And truth be told, when you're traveling, the heavy things, they gotta go. But thankfully, Blessed is She has made a compact journaling Bible that's made for everyday life, invites prayer and reflection, and also has a clean, minimal layout that really invites peace, not distraction. So even though it's compact, you're not missing out on any part of the Bible, and it also makes it really easy to stash in your backpack when you're traveling, when you're going to and from classes and need to hit up that holy hour in between. It's just a really easy, everyday Bible to bring with you. So check out the link in the description below to shop Blessed is She now. Little things that like we see them on the altar, and girls, we eat this stuff up, right? Like I love to like look ahead what feast days are coming up and try and like coordinate outfits for it. Or it was St. Rita's feast day, so it's like I wanted to go and buy a bunch of roses for St. Rita, and like St. Teresa's feast day, big on roses then too. So it's neat that we have this tie. So it's so fun to like just hear about it from a florist perspective, more than just like, oh, I see these things, but really like is like the deeper meaning behind them too.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of meaning behind flowers. I mean, we've been using them for generations. It's very traditional to use flowers to symbolize like beauty, life, and God. It just shows like God uses the nature. God uses all to glorify Him.
Are there any flowers in particular that you feel like really communicates God's love well?
Definitely the lily. Yeah, calla lilies specifically. But most people are familiar with Oriental lilies, like the lily Saint Joseph used. Yeah, Saint Anthony has a lily next while he's carrying Jesus as well. I love it. It's just like simple, but it also just simplifies like purity, and I love that. I love the scent too. A lot of people don't like the scent. It's like very potent, but I like the scent. But there is a difference with calla lily and the Oriental lily. I don't know if you've ever seen a calla lily, but they're
a little bit more like cylinder,
yes,
or almost like a not like a tulip, but I guess it's kind of like versus being open, they're kind of closed like that.
Yes. So that the lily is special to me just because I have a good devotion to Saint Joseph. he's been like so special and just watching over me constantly, which is good because I work a lot and he's patron saint of workers. So
Yeah, I was going to ask what your tie to Saint Joseph is. I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but I feel like I struggle sometimes with like guy saints, like resonating with them. Like I am much more partial to like all the female saints, Mary, Marian. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so why Saint Joseph?
He just watches over me a lot. Yeah, I feel like he's always hugging me, like when I'm like fatigued or overwhelmed with work. But also just because I've been praying to him constantly for, well, one, a future husband, and he's the
Classic.
Yeah, he's the saint to pray to. But also just like my family. I've been praying to Saint Joseph for my family, especially my like siblings. Yeah. To take care of them as well. So,
I'm gonna ask you a question. We don't have to go down this route if you don't want to, but it made me think of it because I was thinking about a reel that I'm planning on posting a little bit later. But the whole premise of the reel is like you can desire a spouse and still trust God at the same time. You know, like sometimes I feel like there's a disconnect with like
interesting.
Wanting to like follow God's will, but then like suppressing the desire for a spouse because you're like, but God, your will, whenever you want it to happen. And like the almost like when you're not looking is when it'll come. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like what that looks like to trust in God as you like figure out your vocation? Just because we brought up vocation a couple times and now bringing up your devotion to Saint Joseph too.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I feel like God really wants what you want. Like he did, like you have your deep desire there. Like if it's as long as it's good, I feel like God desires that too.
Right.
It's just a lot of times we're just like overthinking or suppressing it in a way because we don't think we deserve it, and that's not good. But if it's like things like that's just, oh, you just like want to trust God so much. And you're suppressing, as in like, okay, I trust you, I want to do what your will is, and you're suppressing whatever like you desire. Is that what you're talking about?
Kind of, yeah. Like you almost, suppress that desire for a future spouse just because you're like, oh, I need to trust in God better. Like I need to not be focusing on this. And I think that's kind of,
is it good? Like,
right. And kind of what you're talking about with these desires in general, that the desire, if it's oriented towards a good, it was probably placed there by God. So it's not even a matter of like God also desires that. It's like, no, he's probably the root of that desire if it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
sometimes it's hard to know if it's good or not.
That's where, and that's where a lot of discernment has to happen. Like, are you focusing too much, right? Like, I think you don't want anxiety over your future spouse, or you don't want to be at an event and so focused on like finding the future spouse that you're not paying attention to the person in front of you. Like, I think there's a little bit of nuance there, but I also don't think it's wrong for us to like avoid the desire for marriage because we're like, oh, but God's will has to come first. It's like, no, that can be God's will. You can have those desires, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I just remember and recall what my friend was saying when I shared, God knows what you want and he desires what you want. So that's kind of like, and she said it so strongly. She wasn't a sister or anything. She was like a very good Catholic, and I think she just discerned the religious life for a while. But she's never like had that like love or call. Like she discerned different religious vocations, sisters. And she's someone who I always thought would be a great sister. Yeah. But deep down, she wants to be a mom. She wants to have a family and have a husband and all this. And I didn't know that. And then she shared that with me, and I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. It's like, you're right. Like, God does know what you desire, and he wants to fulfill that desire. Sometimes we don't know what it looks like, and I guess when I was in that place, the surrender novena was so good for me. I don't know if you ever prayed this, Eve, but that was just like enough for me to be like, okay, you handle it.
Yeah.
But it was difficult for me to surrender. So after I like prayed the novena, it got easier. And when I did surrender, honestly, I like laughed at myself. I was like, wow, why didn't I do this before? Like, how is this like not something I should have done a long time ago? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should. You're reminding me to pray it again.
It's time, you're due. You're due for another round.
Yeah.
In the surrender novena. Well, and yeah, I guess that surrender too, I think it's a word that we toss around a lot, and I'm always like aware of tossing around the word surrender, because it's not just like tossing aside our feelings either. Like, that's not the whole intent. And that's,
We're
I
too
don't think
Catholic. We're overthinking this.
Yeah, right. It's not just like trusting God is not just like ignoring the problems of our life. I think there's something really profound about what like actual surrender is, which is recognizing the difficulty that you're about to face. Like when Jesus was in the garden about to be crucified, he was surrendering to the Lord's will, but that didn't take away the high emotions he was feeling. I mean, he was sweating blood. He was still feeling the feelings, but he wasn't turning to other things for comfort. And I think that's the really important thing when it comes to surrendering, right? Is like Jesus chose to go and pray. That's what surrender is. It's not, Jesus said, give this all to you, and then filling our days to the point of busyness that we're not thinking about it anymore.
I like that.
Or going and like just attending the young adult events to get our minds off of it, or turning on a television show just so that we like numb out for a little bit. That's not what surrender is.
No, I like that clarification. Yeah. That's so
It's
true.
tough to know what, I remember especially like this is something I'm still learning so much about, but just like the whole idea of offering it up and surrender, I was really confused by, especially in college. It's like I feel like that like kind of college age at post grad age is where you really start to experience a lot more moments where you need to surrender, and you're on your own to do so. Versus like when you're like at home, like with your family as a young kid, like one, you're probably not facing quite as many like tumultuous things. Maybe you are, but those things tend to hit when you're on your own after that. And like you have to really learn. It's a learning process to figure out how to do that.
Oh, yeah. What would you suggest? Like when you're suppressing your desire and you're wanting to do God's will, like you have a desire, it's good. And then but you're also like, oh, I want to do God's will. So you're suppressing a good desire. Like, how do you come about, like, discerning that even? Or is it already discernment?
I think it's information.
Okay.
I think a lot of our desires is information to begin with, and, like, pinpoints. Maybe if something to bring up later.
Okay.
And to see where that desire goes. Like, I think most times to discern a true desire, it's not something that you discern in one holy hour.
Yeah.
Or like one moment of prayer. It's something that I think should be thought out a little bit more. And then turning to other people and asking them for advice, kind of getting a good barometer for where you're at with that. Because
they know you.
You know, like what you were saying with your friend, like she has a deep desire to be a mother, but it's not everything that consumes her waking thoughts and what she talks about and things like that. And I think that's kind of maybe where some of that discernment comes in, where your desire can get too far. If it's like all that you're praying about and like all that you're thinking about, and you're only going to events for the sake of like finding a spouse, that's where maybe it's like, oh, maybe there might be some red flags. Like the desire here for me to find my vocation, not a bad desire. We should want to find God's will. But it's just like, what is that oriented towards? And knowing like, God does desire what our happiness. But most importantly, he desires our holiness, and our holiness is also happiness. Like, not to take away from that. So, our desires are not bad when they're oriented towards like, okay, what do you want, God? And my emotions can get in the middle of this. So help me figure out what you want me to, where you want me to be right now, and be open to it too, open to whatever God is wanting to like give you. That's a gift. Our vocation is a gift, right? It's a gift to be received, not something that we're meant to like go chase after. So we can sit with a desire, recognize it, not have to like suppress it for the sake of like, oh, I need to do God's will. But use it as an intake, like a little tab of information. Like, oh, this desire is here. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see what God wants to do with it.
I love that.
And bring it to spiritual directors. If you have a spiritual director, I'm looking for one, so I'm not like trying to give this piece of advice of just like everyone gets one. Like, no, it takes time to find a good spiritual director, and just keep it with you. Tell your friends about it too. I think that's an important part of our desires is to be vulnerable enough to tell people about them so that they can also help us in that discernment process.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. I will tell you some recommendations for later. Spiritual directors.
Thank you. I've been on the search for one. But we're almost at about time, May. And we kind of went a lot of different directions with this podcast. I know. I love all of it. So is there anything that any piece of advice, any stories, anything that you would like to leave the listeners with today?
Oh, gosh. I guess just like use your gifts, use your talents that God gave you, and whether small or big, like even if it's just a hobby or if you want to make it a career, do it. With God's grace, I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been so lovely to talk with you, May. Thank you for taking the time and sharing your journey.
You're so welcome, Eve. I'm honored.